Welcome to West Kentucky Academic Bowl. I'm your host, Jeremy Krug, and today we're bringing you the championship match of this year's 2005-2006 West Kentucky Academic Bowl competition. We have two of West Kentucky's best high school academic teams in our match today. Here in this match, Loak is going to be taking on St. Mary, and the winner will take home $2,000 in scholarship prizes. But before we start the match, let's meet our players. First of all, from Loak High School, we have Kyle Etchen. Next to Kyle is Lee Cole. Next to Lee is Loak's coach, is Loak's captain, Rebecca Chaudhary. And next is Zia Chaudhary. Loak's coach is Ben Moorhead. Playing for St. Mary High School, we have Paul Thomason. Next to Paul is Jacob Pushaver. St. Mary's captain is Micah Thomason. And next is Lizzie Myers. St. Mary's coach is Tony McGroarty. Now teams, I'm going to start each half of today's match by reading a toss-up question, which of course can only be answered without conferring with other team members on your team. First team to answer the toss-up correctly will get the first opportunity to answer a bonus question. Now, when I read the bonus question, you'll have 10 seconds to talk it over as a team, but I'll need the answer from your team captain. We'll keep playing with toss-up and bonus questions until I've read 40 questions or 12 minutes expire, whichever happens first. Now, if either coach feels the need to stop the game, you'll be allowed to call 2 timeouts during the match. Well, it looks like both teams are both ready to play, so we're going to start the clock and begin the first half of our championship match with toss-up number 1. Recently, a Dutch filmmaker was murdered in Amsterdam. This filmmaker was the great-grandnephew of what painter known for Starry Night?
Vincent van Gogh.
That is correct. Here's bonus 2 going to Loak. The leader of this group was the Ohio Congressman Clement Vallandigham. What was this northern group during the Civil War that sympathized with the Southern cause?
No answer.
Captain?
Scalawags.
Sorry, the answer is Copperheads. Toss-up 3. George Willard, a young reporter, is the central character to whom the other townspeople tell their stories in what 1919 book by the American novelist Sherwood Anderson? The answer is Winesburg, Ohio. Toss-up 4. 2 vertical angles measure 3x and 4x minus 25 degrees. What is the measure of the complement of either angle?
Loak 15 degrees.
That is correct. Bonus 5 goes to Loak. Give the term for the apparent yearly path of the sun through the sky with respect to the stars.
No answer.
St. Mary?
Zenith.
No, the answer is ecliptic. Going on to toss-up 6. Apollo, the original owner of this magical wand, traded it to the god Hermes.
St. Mary Micah.
The staff of Hermes.
I'm sorry, that's incorrect. I'll repeat the question for Loak. Apollo, the original owner of this magical wand, traded it to the god Hermes. Constructed of gold and olive wood, 2 snakes entwine it, and a pair of wings surmount it. Give the name of this staff, used since ancient times to represent the medical profession.
Rebecca.
The caduceus.
That is correct. For Loak, here's your bonus, number 7. In what 1687 book did Sir Isaac Newton describe his 3 laws of motion?
Principia Mathematica.
Judge? That is correct. We'll go on to toss-up 8. What 2-word agricultural name is given to the area of the Midwest and Great Plains?
St. Mary Paul.
Corn Belt.
That is correct. Going on to bonus 9, which is for St. Mary. What is the amplitude of the function y equals 2 sine 5 theta?
10.
That's incorrect. Loak?
2.
That is correct for Loak. Going on to toss-up 10. This English author of the Edwardian period was best known for the realistic portrayal of his subjects. Name this author of The Old Wives' Tale, a part of his 5 Towns series.
St. Mary Lizzie.
Dickens.
Sorry, that's incorrect. Loak? The answer is Arnold Bennett. We'll check the score now after 10 questions. It looks like Loak is leading St. Mary by a score of 5-1. Let's go on now to toss-up 11. It looks like a small piano and was used by Tchaikovsky in his...
St. Mary Micah.
Harpsichord.
Incorrect. I'll repeat the question for Loak. It looks like a small piano and was used by Tchaikovsky in his Nutcracker Suite. Name this keyboard percussion instrument that produces sound when steel bars are struck with hammers.
Loak Kyle.
Incorrect. The answer is Celesta. Toss-up 12. It was first recognized by an early Chinese text in a description of the ignition of stored oil cloth. What is this ignition of materials in bulk due to internal, stored in bulk?
St. Mary Micah.
Spontaneous combustion.
That is correct. Here's bonus 13, which goes to St. Mary. What is the smallest positive value in degrees for x such that the sine of x equals the cosine of x?
Zero.
Sorry, that's incorrect. Loak?
I designate Kyle.
45 degrees.
That is correct, so a point for Loak. Toss-up 14. Kevin wants to include a quote from Shakespeare in a paper he was writing, but the entire quote was too long.
St. Mary Lizzie.
Ellipsis.
That is correct for St. Mary. Here's your bonus, number 15. The opinion of a verdict in a Supreme Court is never written by this person. What is the title that has been given to such people as Warren Burger and William O. Douglas?
Chief Justice.
That is correct for a point. Toss-up 16. This 20th century school of philosophy was founded by Edmund Husserl. Name this school which used intuition to describe consciousness and experience.
St. Mary Micah.
Transcendentalist.
That's incorrect. Loak? The answer is phenomenology. Toss-up 17. This sociological term was mostly used with the Jewish migration during the Zionist movement. What is this term that now designates any cultural migration?
St. Mary Lizzie.
Exodus.
Incorrect. I'll repeat the question for Loak. This sociological term was mostly used with the Jewish migration during the Zionist movement. What is this term that now designates any cultural migration of one ethnicity into another?
Loak Zia.
Assimilation?
No, the answer is diaspora. Toss-up 18. What name is given to a straight line drawn between two non-adjacent vertices of a polygon?
St. Mary Micah.
Diagonal.
That is correct for St. Mary. Here's bonus 19 for you. There are 3 moods of verbs in English grammar. Which mood form is used to express a fact, an opinion, or a question?
Indicative.
That is correct for St. Mary. Toss-up 20. What color are the plastids characteristic of the algae found in the...
Loak Zia.
Green?
Incorrect. I'll repeat the question for St. Mary. What color are the plastids characteristic of the algae found in the phylum Rhodophyta?
St. Mary Micah.
Red.
That is correct. We'll go on to your bonus for St. Mary, 21. The lines x equals -1, x equals 5, y equals -7, and y equals -3 form a rectangle. What is the area of the rectangle in square units?
.24 square units.
That, Judge?
Yes.
That was correct. That was in time. All right, after 21 questions, we're going to check the score. It looks like St. Mary is now leading Loak by a score of 8-6. Let's go on to toss-up 22. David Hume, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, and Voltaire were all major proponents in what 18th century philosophical movement?
Loak Zia.
The Enlightenment.
That is correct for Loak. Here's bonus 23 for you. This principle of economics is becoming more and more important in today's businesses. What is this term that deals with the amount of work done in a certain amount of time for an employer or for an employee?
Efficiency.
I'm sorry, that's incorrect, St. Mary.
Man hour.
No, the answer is productivity. Toss-up 24. What literary technique relating to word order is illustrated in the line, "Whose woods these are, I think I know"?
St. Mary Micah.
Inverted sentence structure.
Judge?
Incorrect.
That is incorrect. Loak?
Loak Zia.
Inversion?
Inversion is correct for a point. Here's bonus 25 going to Loak. Name the Austrian physicist of the 19th century who explained the phenomenon of the apparent change in wavelength of radiation, such as sound or light, emitted either by a moving body or the moving receiver.
Doppler?
Doppler is correct for a point. Toss up 26. The solar cycle is the periodic change in the number of sunspots.
St. Mary Paul.
11 years.
That is correct for a point. St. Mary, here's bonus 27. If the sum of two consecutive integers is 17, what is the sum of their reciprocals?
1/17.
Incorrect. Loak.
376?
No, the answer is 17 over 72. Toss up 28. It is believed that part of California will eventually separate from the continental.
Loak Zia.
San Andreas Fault.
Correct. Bonus 29 for Loak. The Federal National Mortgage Association is the largest secondary mortgage agency. By what other name is this organization better known?
No answer.
Goes over to St. Mary.
No answer.
The answer is Fannie Mae. Toss up 30. Who wrote the novel in which Lady Brett Ashley, Michael Campbell, Jake Barnes, and Robert Cohn leave Paris for an excursion in Spain where they visit the Fiesta at Pamplona?
St. Mary Lizzie.
Hemingway?
That is correct for St. Mary. Here's bonus 31 for you. Reaching a depth of 1,932 feet, it is the deepest lake in the United States. What is this lake in Oregon created from the collapsed remains of a volcano?
Crater Lake.
That is correct. Timeout has been called by Loak. We're going to take a short break. We're going to check the score. It looks like St. Mary is leading Loak by a score of 11-10. We're going to take a short break for halftime. We'll be right back with more West Kentucky Academic Bowl right after this. Welcome back to West Kentucky Academic Bowl. We just had a timeout. Right now we have 1 minute 59 seconds left to play in the first half. And as it stands right now, St. Mary is leading Loak by a score of 11-10. So we have a very close match. We do have a new player, so we'll have John Fegis from Loak test his buzzer. And we'd like to welcome both teams back. And we're going to get started, so please start the clock for toss-up 32. Find the geometric mean between 4 and 12.
Loak Zia.
6.
Incorrect.
St. Mary Micah.
Square root of 48.
Incorrect. In its a simplified form, it's 4 radical 3. Toss-up 33. Two people posed for a famous American painting.
St. Mary Paul.
American Gothic.
That is correct for St. Mary. Bonus 34 for you. What adjective describes structures on two different life forms that are similar, such as a monkey's paw and a human hand?
Homologous.
That is correct. Here's toss-up 35. Give the word which completes the following palindrome. Rats live on no evil what?
St. Mary Lizzie.
Star?
That is correct for St. Mary. Bonus 36. The 19th century Anglo-Irish physicist William Thomson received patents of nobility for his scientific work. What was Thomson's much more famous noble name?
Boyle.
Incorrect. Loak.
I designate John.
Lord Kelvin.
Lord Kelvin is correct for Loak. Toss-up 37. During this crusade, the Kurdish leader Saladin united the Muslims.
Loak Zia.
The Third Crusade.
Correct for Loak. Here's bonus 38 for you. What word derived from the Chinese language means to kneel and touch the forehead to the ground as a sign of respect?
Kowtow.
That is correct. Toss-up 39. In spite of everything, I still believe that...
Loak Rebecca.
The Diary of Anne Frank.
That is incorrect. In spite of everything, I still believe that people are really good at heart. What young girl wrote these words in her diary?
St. Mary Lizzie.
Anne Frank.
Anne Frank is correct for St. Mary. And bonus 40, what decimal number would the base 7 number 15 equal?
9.
Sorry, that's incorrect, and that is the end of the first half.
No, that's the blue time.
All right, the first half is over. We're going to check the score. It looks like St. Mary is leading Lone Oak by a score, no, it's by a score of 16 to 15. 15 to 13, I'm sorry. Looks like St. Mary's leading Lone Oak 15 to 13, and we are at halftime. We're going to take a short break for halftime, so don't go away. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to West Kentucky Academic Bowl. We have quite an exciting championship match here. Right now, St. Mary is currently leading Lone Oak by a score of 15 to 13. And as it stands right now, the teams have not made any substitutions, and it looks like both teams are ready to play. So let's put 12 minutes on the clock and begin the second half of our championship match. Toss-up 1. What is the term for the interior lining of the heart?
St. Mary Micah.
Epicardium.
That's incorrect. Lone Oak?
Lone Oak Rebecca.
Endocardium.
Endocardium is right for a point. Here's bonus 2 to Lone Oak. The main cause for the Protestant Reformation was the sale of indulgences. What man specifically prompted Martin Luther to protest due to his sale of indulgences?
Johann Tetzel.
That is correct. Toss-up 3. Identify the famous cathedral in Moscow known for its...
Lone Oak Zia.
St. Peter's Cathedral.
Incorrect. Identify the famous cathedral in Moscow known for its beautiful onion domes.
St. Mary Jacob.
St. Basil's.
That is correct. Here's bonus 4 for St. Mary. Change the binary number 11011 into its base 10 equivalent.
No answer.
Goes over to Lone Oak.
I designate Zia.
27.
27 is right. Toss-up 5. Identify the novel in which Howard Rourke is an architect whose integrity is as unyielding as the granite of the buildings he designs.
Lone Oak Rebecca.
Atlas Shrugged.
Sorry, that's incorrect. St. Mary? The answer is the Fountainhead. Toss-up 6. It was the former site of 2 ancient temples cut into the rock on the banks of the Nile in southern Egypt during the reign of Ramses II, commemorating him and his wife Nefertari. Identify this site from which the temples were moved in sections from...
St. Mary Lizzie.
Valley of the Kings.
Incorrect. It was the former site of 2 ancient temples cut into the rock on the banks of the Nile in southern Egypt during the reign of Ramses II, commemorating him and his wife Nefertari. Identify this site from which the temples were moved in sections from 1966 to 1967 before the site was flooded by the Aswan High Dam.
Lone Oak Rebecca.
Karnak.
No, the answer is Abu Simbel. Toss-up 7. Geologists have speculated that the first massive continent split into 2 early continents. One was Laurasia. What was the other?
St. Mary Micah.
Gondwanaland.
That is correct. Here's bonus 8 for St. Mary. What is the first derivative of the sine of 4x?
No answer.
Goes over to Lone Oak.
4 cosine 4x.
That is correct. For Lone Oak, here's toss-up 9. Which article of the United States Constitution includes the full faith and credit clause that says that states should honor the laws of other states?
St. Mary Lizzie.
3rd.
Incorrect. Lone Oak?
Lone Oak Zia.
4th.
That is correct for Lone Oak. Here's bonus 10 for you. Erskine Caldwell wrote Tobacco Road in the 1930s. It was later made into a successful play that dealt with the tragedies of a family of sharecroppers in which state?
Nebraska.
Sorry, that's incorrect. St. Mary.
Georgia.
Georgia is correct. Toss-up 11. Complete this anatomy analogy. Biceps is to flexor as triceps is...
St. Mary Micah.
Extensor.
That is correct for St. Mary. Bonus 12 goes to you. How many pounds of nuts costing $2.50 per pound must be mixed with 2 pounds of nuts costing $4.50 per pound to obtain a mixture costing $3 per pound?
No answer.
All right, it goes over to Lone Oak.
No answer.
The answer is 6 pounds. All right, we're going to check the score now at this point. It looks like
19, 18.
Looks like we have a very close score. St. Mary is leading Loak by a score of 19-18. So a very exciting match. We'll continue with toss-up 13. His heroic struggles against the Muslims inspired numerous tales, and many of Europe's Christian...
St. Mary Micah.
Richard the Lionhearted.
Incorrect. I'll repeat the question for Loak. His heroic struggles against the Muslims inspired numerous tales, and many of Europe's Christian rulers sought to form an anti-Muslim alliance with this legendary Christian king. Give the name of this mythical monarch whose medieval kingdom was said to lie in Southwest Asia. The answer is Prester John. Toss-up 14. This president was born with the name Leslie Lynch King. Who was this 38th president who would...
St. Mary Micah.
No answer.
That's incorrect. This president was born with the name Leslie Lynch King. Who was this 38th president who was nearly assassinated by two women?
Loak, Rebecca.
Ronald Reagan.
No, the answer is Gerald Ford. Toss-up 15. What category of pronouns introduces adjective clauses?
St. Mary Jacob.
Object pronouns.
That's incorrect. Loak.
Loak Zia.
Introductory pronouns.
No, they're called relative pronouns. Toss-up 16. In which quadrant are both the sine and cosine functions increasing?
Loak Guile.
First.
Incorrect. St. Mary?
St. Mary Micah.
First and third.
No, the answer is the fourth. Toss-up 17. Each year, the Salzburg Festival attracts many international music lovers with its refreshing variety of symphonic and stage works. In what Central European country?
Loak Zia.
Austria.
That is correct. Loak. Here's bonus 18 for you. What structures on bread mold serve to anchor the mold to its food source?
Hyphae.
That's incorrect. St. Mary.
Mycelium.
No, they're called rhizoids. Toss-up 19. This act passed by Congress basically paid farmers not to farm. What was this major...
Loak, Rebecca.
The Agricultural Adjustment Act.
That is correct for Loak. Here's bonus 20 for you. Jim Smiley enters Daniel Webster into a hopping contest, but loses his money to a stranger in what widely anthologized short story by Mark Twain?
I designate John.
The jumping frog of Calaveras County.
That's incorrect. St. Mary.
The Incredible Jumping Frog of Calaveras County.
No, it's the celebrated jumping frog of Calaveras County. All right, that's 20 questions. We're going to check the score at this time. It looks like Loak has now jumped into the lead with a score of 20-19. We're going to go on to toss-up 21. For what do the initials STP stand?
St. Mary Jacob.
Standard temperature and pressure.
That is correct for you, and we now have a tie score. Here's your bonus 22, St. Mary. Suppose that an exterior angle of a regular polygon is 40 degrees. How many sides does that polygon have?
12.
That's incorrect. Loak.
9.
9 is correct. Toss-up 23. Noted for his comedies of manners, name the English dramatist.
St. Mary Lizzie.
Oscar Wilde.
That's incorrect. I'll repeat the question for Loak. Noted for his comedies of manners, name the English dramatist who wrote the plays The Plain Dealer and The Country Wife. The answer is William Wycherley. Toss-up 24. One of the most successful groups in Europe during the 1970s, their well-produced songs were characterized by the harmonies of the two female leads.
Loak, Rebecca.
ABBA.
That is correct for Loak. Here's bonus 25. This 1918 act was said to have made the world safe for hypocrisy. What was this famous act that implemented the 18th Amendment to the Constitution?
The Volstead Act.
That is correct. A point for Loak. Toss-up 26. In 1955, glutaraldehyde was first used as an alternative to what chemical compound widely used as an embalming?
St. Mary Micah.
Formaldehyde.
That is correct for St. Mary. Here's bonus 27 for you. In addition to introducing terza rima verse and the French rondeau into English literature, Sir Thomas Wyatt also introduced what Italian verse form with 14 lines?
Petrarchan sonnet.
Judge. Incorrect. Loak.
Sonnet.
Sonnet is correct. Toss-up 28. What 20th century art movement stressed the weird, the fantastic, and the dream world?
Loak, Rebecca.
Surrealism.
Surrealism is right. Here's bonus 29 for Loak. What is the lateral surface area of a right circular cylinder with a height of 10 inches and a radius of 3 inches?
Inches. 60 pi square inches.
That is correct. Toss-up 30. Tsar Alexander III's policy of Russification directly led to these events. What is the name given to these bloody massacres of...
Loak, Rebecca.
Pogroms.
That is correct for Loak. Here's bonus 31 for you. What is the name for the horseshoe-shaped bone that forms the lower jaw in humans?
Mandible.
That is correct. All right, we're going to check the score now. We have 31 questions we've completed. Looks like Loak has taken lead. The score is 28 to 21. We're going to play the last 9 questions of the match. Toss-up 32. In the Bible, the wife of what biblical character was turned into a pillar of salt?
Loak, Rebecca.
Lot.
That is correct. Bonus 33 to Loak. Suppose that Chris scored the following points in his last 7 basketball games. 12, 20, 18, 12, 36, 12, and 4. What is the range of these point scores?
32.
That is correct. Toss-up 34. What is the title of the person responsible for the financial and administrative aspects of a dramatic production?
Loak, Rebecca.
Producer.
Producer is right. Bonus 35 to Loak. Bartolomé de las Casas called this institution a moral pestilence invented by Satan. What was this system of giving Native Americans to Spanish citizens with the promise of Christianizing each one of them?
Encomienda.
That is correct for Loak. Toss-up 36. What is the radian equivalent of the measure of one interior angle of a regular hexagon?
Loak, see it.
2 pi over 3.
That is correct for Loak. Here's your bonus, 37. During the fall harvest of 1621, the governor of Plymouth, William Bradford, called for a prayer of thanksgiving. It wasn't until many years later that what president made Thanksgiving a national holiday?
George Washington.
That's incorrect. St. Mary.
Lincoln.
That is correct. Toss-up 38. In what profession were Charles Bulfinch, Louis Kahn, Benjamin Latrobe, Louis Sullivan, and Frank Lloyd Wright all trained?
St. Mary, Micah.
Architecture.
Architecture is right. Bonus 39 to St. Mary, whose story collection, In the Midst of Life, includes the stories A Horseman in the Sky and An Occurrence at Owl Creek Bridge.
Ambrose Bierce.
That is correct for St. Mary. And toss-up 40, the final one of the match. Name the invertebrate phylum characterized by head, foot... Oh, I'm sorry, we have just run out of time. Time has been called. Our 12 minutes are up for the second half. Well, we're going to check the final score now. It looks like Loak is pulled ahead with a final score of 33 to 24. Well, looks like both teams are going to be going home with some scholarship prizes today. It looks like St. Mary, since they're the second place team, we want to congratulate you on making it this far. You're going to be receiving $1,000 in scholarship prizes as a team. Also, we'd like to congratulate Loak for being the championship team for this year's 2005-2006 West Kentucky Academic Bowl. You'll be receiving $2,000 to be divided up in scholarship money amongst you. I'd also like to thank all teams who have participated in this year's West Kentucky Academic Bowl, as well as our judge, Gary Goodacre, and I'd also like to thank all of you for watching. Please join us next year when we'll have another series of exciting matches again. This is Jeremy Krug for West Kentucky Academic Bowl. Thanks for watching.